Good morning. It's Monday morning. It's Tuesday morning, rather, 6 July, 4:47 in the morning. Kicking off with some morning markets. My name is Njabulun Sabande. Kicking off with some morning markets. The top 40 down a third of a percent. S&P up three quarters of a percent. UK 100 down 0.5%, 0.05%. DEX down 0.09%, and UK 100 up 0.04%. So going through the market scan early in the morning, um, just making sure that we're recording. Um, Kicking off with APSA. It looked like, when at the open, it looked like it was breaking through, playing up that bearish flag there, um, and ending up closing green for the day. You know, but just below that 50-day exponential moving average, and just below that trend line there, as I draw it, connecting the closes instead of the lows. Connecting the closes there, instead of the lows. So yeah, let's see if it can come back into the channel there, into that consolidation channel, and ultimately moving back higher. We'll see how the stock performs in the day. Next is African Rainbow, still battling with that 50 period exponential moving average. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see if it'll come back to test the 200-day exponential moving average, forming kind of like a nice head and shoulders pattern there. I'm still looking for a close through that 280 um 286 level. And Platts, so broke out from the channel, breaking through the 50 period exponential moving average, but I wanted it above the 50-day exponential moving average. I wanted it above the 50-day exponential moving average. So on the close through the 1737, I'll take the position with a stop loss just below the 200-day exponential moving average at that 1583 level. Looking quite decent there on implants. Moving right along. I'll skip stocks that I know that the 50 period is below the 200-day, or the price is below the 200-day. So anyway, um, looks like AB and Bev is forming that head and shoulders pattern there. So above that 74 level looks very, very good. At the minute, looks like it wants to come in and test the 200-day exponential moving average. Let's see how that holds up. Um, I might be starting to build my position. If it does indeed, test the 200-day exponential moving average. If not, I'll just wait for that 1074 breakout day. Aspen looks like that 50 period exponential moving average is still holding. Even though there's still quite a fair bit of selling happening there on Aspen. So I'm still looking for that breakthrough 175. So we'll see if how well this 250 period exponential moving average holds up. But if we break back above that 167, 158 will be my stop loss with a new position there. Astral Foods looks like it's coming back into the range. Huge giant bearish engulfing candle there. So let's see if it was just testing the what was resistance. To let's see if it holds again now as support on Astral Foods. If it breaks back above, let me just put that there. You know, if it breaks back above the that hammer there, because we had that beautiful hammer there, followed by a bearish engulfing candle. So we could see the stock coming back all the way to that 50 period exponential moving average, testing it. We'll see if that holds, or if a we'll see if this resistance, prior resistance holds now as support. If not, we'll see if that 50 period exponential moving average holds as support. So we'll see, how the stock performs over the coming week. AVI moving right along. Butterworld holding that prior resistance as support quite well. Also the flirting with the 50 period exponential moving average. We'll see over the next coming week how it takes care of itself around that 50 period exponential moving average. But if you get it close through that 107, and if you're not on the trade, that could provide a nice re-entry there. But for me, it will just provide comfort and nothing more than that. With a close perhaps above 114, with a better place to place a stop below that 50 period exponential moving average, I could be adding to the position. Raising my stop loss ever so slightly, but I not over too much. Skip bets because we know what's happening there. BHP, the broker that I was waiting for finally happened. There was still a fair bit of selling there around that 429 level. It looks like the bulls have won the day. So I'll be taking a position on BHP. Let's just quickly do some math. That's change the color of that because that's my entry. Stop loss for now will be just below the 200 period exponential, 200 day exponential moving average. Just to initially give it a fair bit of room. To start with the trade, and then if we can get through 444, then I'll quickly ratchet my stop to just below the traffic there, because I could put it now, but just want to give my stop loss quite a bit of room for now. So for now, my stop loss will be that 391 level. Let me quickly do some math. Just pull up my risk calculator. There you go. So entry 431.60 with a stop loss. Let me first 431.60. Let me first bring back my ATR to see. Have an average true range of 9 rand. 413. So perhaps I could pull it much tighter to just below the 200 period exponential moving average instead of that wild. So I'm going to put my stop just below that red candle there. Around that 200 period exponential moving average. If it doesn't hold the 50 period exponential moving average and takes out the 200 day exponential moving average, I'm comfortable being out of the position, and I can always just jump back in. So my 410 will be my stop. That means 410.20, because using twice ATR, my stop loss, my recommended stop loss would have been around 413, but there's an obvious low around 410, 3 rands lower, so might as well just put it there. Using 2.5 times instead of just two times ATR on the trade. That means I'll be buying myself 3.1 shares of. Let me just quickly make a note there of BHP with a stop loss of 14 14.20. Yeah, I'll be adding 3.1 shares to my portfolio with a stop loss of 14.20 on BHP. Bitcorp moving nicely upward. Excuse me. Bitcorp looking moving strongly upward. You know, coming closer and closer to that 319 resistance level, 3950. 319.50 resistance level closed through 319.51. Just see if you can there you go, 319.51. If we can get a close above 319.51, I'll add to my position with stop loss just below the traffic there, around 303. Looking like moving steadily along on Bitcorp there. Bidvest finding some support around that 50-day exponential moving average. Looks like that the sellers have ran out of steam on Bitcorp. Let me just sip coffee and some water. Sorry about that. So if we can get a nice close through that 194, I'll be adding to my position, pulling my stop ever so slightly below that 50 period exponential moving average, just below those swing minor swing low there, around that 184, adding slightly slowly building the position, and ultimately a close through that 201 level. Again adding to the position. Capitec moved back into a lower box, and now it looks like a dancer crouching for the next spring. So looks like sellers have ran out of steam, and because unsurprisingly the stock consolidating after quite a run. So if we move back into that higher box, I'll take the position with a stop loss just below the doji there or that doji there, just to give it a little bit more room. Richmond also that one was violated, so looks like the it's still continuing with the consolidation. So if you can get through again if you can get through 177.37 on the stock, I'll be adding again to the position, pulling my stop just below the traffic there. As the stock moves into a higher box. Clicks still holding that 200 period moving average, but battling with the 50-day exponential moving average. So if we can get a close back above the 250 level, that would be much better. We can see we could probably see the stock moving up again. But if we can get a close through 253, I'll add to the position with a stop loss there at 243. And again, if you can get a close through 263, I'll be rather at 259. I'll be adding again to the position and trailing my stop behind me, and perhaps again when we'll get through 263. Coronation is still battling with that 200 period exponential moving average. I'm still waiting for that 49 rand level. Discam, there's still quite some selling happening there. Came quite closely to my stop loss yesterday, but we'll see. We'll see if the the selling is still continuing, or the buyers will come back to save the day. So yeah, just we'll see. We'll see. If I get stopped, I can always jump back in. Discovery is still just collapsing. Um, Looks like buying came back on Distal at the back of that bullish engulfing candle we identified on yesterday's video. Um, Looking quite decent. There is Distal, so I'm looking for a close through 172.75. Uh, yeah, 172.75 can make that maybe green to show that we're good to go above that level there. So yeah, above the close of that reverse hammer candle there, I want to be trailing my stop to that 162. Remember, now I took like a 5% position on that last trade on Distal. So the next entry must be only when my stop loss is above that entry price, or at least at break even of that entry price. So for now, I'll just be trailing my stop ever so slightly to that 162 level as we break back above that 172 level. Let's see if sellers have stepped out, because as you can see here, there was quite some selling happening around that 172.75 level. Let's see if that's still the case as the stocks move back into that price there. Exaro finding some consolidation on at the moment. Looks like a nice symmetrical triangle pattern if you're trading on the smaller time frames. But I'm looking for the close above that 170 to pull my stop to. In fact, I could be pulling my stop already to that 161 level. Seeing that 166 level is holding quite well as support, but wanted above 170. If we get a close above 170, I'll be trailing my stop to that 161 level there. I'm not in a hurry as yet. First rand still battling with that 50 period exponential moving average, waiting for that 53 rand and some change. 53 rand 81, close above 53 rand 81 with a stop loss of 50 rand 90. Fortuna Group still consolidating. Let's see if that support holds. If it continues to hold, that's quite good. With a close above 163, good time to add to the position on Foschini on there. Yesterday I mentioned that I was buying Glencore on the video, but as you can see, retrospectively after the video, I saw that there's an obvious resistance level just above my entry point there. As you can see, that level was respected for quite some time. So a close above that, above that candle, above that short-term selling there would have been much better as an entry. So as a result, let me just quickly now, I've been properly triggered on the trade there. Just quickly calculate if that a 59.85 level is greater than twice ATR, and my ATR is 1.5. So yeah, twice ATR recommendation is 60 rand and some change. So that 59.85 level is just in place for a stop, perhaps just below that, the low of that bar there. 59.50 or 59.40 is my stop loss. So let's just quickly calculate how much I will be buying myself at the open. entry at 65, call it 65.30, 59.40. So I'll be buying myself 17 shares of Glencore at the open. With a stop loss of 59 rand 40 cents. So I'll be buying myself 17 shares with a stop loss of 59 rand 59 rand 40 cents. Growth point very very close from the break above. It's a cent below that last high close there, just a cent below. So if you can get a close through 1505, if you can get a close above 1505, I'll be adding to my position, trailing my stop to that 1440 level. Nice bullish engulfing candle there on growth point. So close literally a cent below my trigger point there. So if we can get a close above that level, I am back in. I'll be adding to the position, trailing my stop to that 1440 level, just below. Just below the that 50 period exponential moving average there. Implants, nice breakout from the channel, but I wanted above that 50-day exponential moving average because it's quite close. Nice broke, came back to retest the resistance, held it as support. So if you can get above 250, I'll take the trade with a stop loss there around 230. Liking how Impala is moving at the minute. Imperial, nice doji candle, just quite it took out that low there by a smidgen, but it didn't take me out as yet. But it came quite closely to take me out, only a few cents, literally about 30 cents, 30 cents away from my stop loss before turning around. But let's see how it holds itself above. If it can hold above that 50 period exponential moving average. If not, I'll get taken out as these lows get taken out on Imperial. Investec looks like the selling has halted, or at least come to an end for the time being. Nice bullish engulfing candle, engulfing the past couple of candles on Investec. So if you can get a close back above that 58 rand and some change, I'll add to my position with a stop loss just below the traffic there, around that 50 rand, 53 rand and 53 and 50, 53 and 70, just below the traffic there, with the close back above that 58 rand. JSE still collapsing. Kumba, lacking how Kumba is moving at the minute. So if you can get close above at 687 level, I'll be adding to my position with a stop loss just below the 50 period exponential moving average, ever so slightly by a smidgen. Life Healthcare also finding some support around that 50-day exponential moving average. So look, that's quite decent. So yeah, with a close back above 23 rand 40, I'll add to my position, with a stop loss just below that 50 period exponential moving average, since it held quite well. So with a stop loss, I'll trail my stop loss to 21.75. With a close through 23.52. Mediclinic, New Metro, still battling with that 50-day exponential moving average. So I want it to properly, move above it with a close through, 1953. I'll take the trade with a stop loss there, below that traffic there. If you move back, that's a nice place to place a stop, because if it does go there, I don't want to be in that position. So yeah, as an initial stop, 1840 is my stop. raising it to just below the traffic there on the breakthrough that level, and again there, and ultimately then we start moving above 2085. So I'll be slowly building my position there. Monday still in that holding above that 50-day exponential moving average. Not much activity happening yesterday, but we'll see. Mr. Price still in our head has violated I think the gap has been closed now. Violated the 50-day exponential moving average. We can see if we can close back above the 50-day exponential moving average, we close above that 216.53 level. I'll take the position back. I'll jump back into the trade with a stop loss around that 202 level, just below the lows of the swing low there. MTN Group, that Doge is holding quite, still playing quite well. So with a close above 108.80, I'll be adding to my position with a stop loss around that 101 level there. Perhaps I can move my stops ever so slightly below that Doji there, just by a smidgen. Yeah, ever so slightly to that 198. Let me just quickly do that. 198.45. Okay, I'll update it properly at the open. I think this is the last one. Maybe not. This one is the last one. There you go. Yeah. So I'll just update the one that I dropped at 44. When the market opens, nice place to stop, man. Just below that low there. If those lows get taken out, there's a good chance that it's falling. So I'm happy with that stop. Let me just quickly update my journal before I forget. What is this? MTN. MTN. Where's MTN? Just quickly find it. Now we're at 98.45. So now I have a 3.37% profit here on MTN. With that move up from, let me see, up from 2.4%. So just bring back. Yeah. So now I'm sitting at about 3.31% profit on this position. So if you can get through 298, I'll add to my position with a stop loss around that 101.44 level, which would put me at a 6% profit. So I'll be adding to my position with a 6% profit once we get through 108 level there. Multi-choice moving right along. Nedbank, that bull flag, the resistance, still holding. It held again today, but if we can get through 171, we're quite close to the price. We did touch it. Looks like there's still quite a fair bit of selling around the price, but if we can get through it, I'll add to my position with a stop loss there at 160. That would push me to up just under 2% profit there on Nedbank as I add to the position, meaning now it would be a risk-free trade, because even if I add a 1% trade there, it reduces my my profitability to 1%, which is nice to have a risk-free trade. Napier moving quite nicely, nice bullish engulfing candle. Looks like there's someone is buying some Napier there. Looking quite good. Nice bullish engulfing candle with Netcare now closing back above that 200 period exponential moving average. Looks quite interesting, but I wanted above the trend line support there. So if you can close through the trend line support, then ultimately through the 50 period exponential moving average, perhaps around 1480s, there's about I'll take the trade. Let's look. Yeah, if you can take out that the close of that candle there, I'll take the trade with a stop loss just below those lows there. Starting to build my position there, and if we can get through 1544 as well, I'll add again to the position, and ultimately through 1590 I'll add again to the position. But it looks like that 200 period exponential moving average moving quite nicely, holding quite nicely, with yesterday giving us a nice bullish engulfing candle, engulfing the past three candles, looking quite decent. So we'll see. Still battling with that 250 period exponential moving average is not them. So close through 231 is required for me to, as it breaks through the neckline there, then I'll take the then I'll take the trade back above that 231 level. Omutual still battling with the 50-day exponential moving average, waiting for that 1342 level. If you can get through 1356, if you can get through that, take the position with a stop loss just below around that 1277 level. Pepco looking quite good. Look like the sellers are starting to move away. We'll see if the sellers there at 2092 are still there. If you can get through 2092, I'll add to the position and put my stop ever so slightly to that 1940 level, adding to my position on Pepco. Pick and Pay, moving right along. Quilter, let's move on. Real Bafokeng looking quite, holding that 50 period exponential moving average quite well. So with the close through that 108.21, above that close of that candle there. So 108.24 rather, adding to the position with a stop loss there at 99.50, call it 99.50. Raynet moving along. Rimgrow looking quite good, holding that. Let me just remove that. The doji looks like it's starting to play out, holding that 50 period exponential moving average. So if you can get through 116.35, I'll take the trade with a stop loss there at 111.05. Stock looking quite decent at the minute. I mentioned this move right along. Sanlam. Nice falling wedge, nice bullish engulfing candle, holding the 50 period exponential moving average. It's quite decent. So if you can get through the falling wedge, I'll start building my position with half the risk. So meaning I'll take 0.5% risk, and above 63, I'll put on the I'll pull on the full position above 63, and ultimately back above 64.80 on Sanlam. Santam moving right along. Sapi. Waiting for a close through that above the 50 period exponential moving average, above that 42.20 level, to take the position, perhaps the stop loss just below the 200-day exponential moving average. But for now, the stop is 36.44 on the trade. Sasol still flirting with the 200 day, 50 period exponential moving average. Still quite some selling. So let's see if we can jump back into, break that, support back, close back above that support again. ShopRite, still, waiting for that cup and handle to play out. So it's not currently in play. So above 162 now, we're talking with a stop loss just below those lows there, just below the 50-day exponential moving average. So still waiting for that cup and handle pattern to play out as I continue to build my position on ShopRite. Sabanya holding the 200-day exponential moving average quite strongly. So I want to close through that 64 rand level and ultimately above that 50-period exponential moving average. Standard Bank holding the 200-day exponential moving average. Battling, still fighting with the 200-day and the 50-day exponential moving average. So if we can get a close through 128.82. I'll taking the trade with stop loss just below the traffic there, around that 122.30 level. Moving right along. Telecom. So if we can get a close above the 50-day exponential moving average, I'll jump back into this trade with a stop loss of come on, man, what the hell? With a stop loss there around that 42, so we can get just a close above that 50-period exponential moving average. And I'll take the trade with a tight stop around that 42.85 level there. Tiger Brands. Yeah, so my stop has been violated. Not my actual stop, but I placed my stop before taking the position. So still coming back into this lower box. So I will wait for it to come back above 218. Transaction capital. Someone was just dumping some shares yesterday. On transaction capital, still waiting for that 38.40. So my stop hasn't been violated as yet, so I'm not worried. Perhaps the low of this bar, of this bearish engulfing bar, would serve as the next level for a stop loss around the 36.80, 36.67. So if we can get through 38.40, that's where I'll be putting my stop and adding to my position. Truwords, nice bullish engulfing candle today. We'll see if the sellers have now stepped away. So if you can close back above 58 level, above that 58 rand level, I'll add again to my position with a stop loss there at 54 rand and some change. Vodacom, battling with the 200-day exponential moving average, not doing very, very much. So I wanted above 132, and last of the stocks is Woolies. Holding that 50-period exponential moving average quite well, so still waiting for that 55 rand 78. Lastly, my benchmark, the Citrix 40, below the 50-period exponential moving average, still within that 63.60 range. Let me see. I think the short trigger on the laser system that we spoke of yesterday actually confirmed today. So ordinarily this would be now a short position with a emergency stop loss above that traffic there. So I would put my emergency stop around that 61 rand 60 level, but a close above that 30 period exponential moving average would be the stop loss. But I'm not interested in shorts. I am only on the long side, especially considering that. So I'm not going to short in the face of the bull market. Anyway, that's it for today. yeah, man, get down into the comment section down below. Do let me know what are some of the stocks that you're looking at. You know, if you have comments on the stocks that we're looking at today, we was looking at, what's your position or favorite setup, that kind of thing. And if you do have questions, feel free to drop me an email, njabulo@villagetrader.co.za. Do join Simon Brown and myself tomorrow, Wednesday, 5:30 evening, as we do follow the trader series. There you can also ask some questions there between Simon Brown and myself. Otherwise, remember to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification button, so that we get notified when these come out. Yeah, man. Yeah. Have a great day. Trade with discipline. Trade well. Do some risk management. Do some money management. Yeah. We'll chat again tomorrow. Cheers.